Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Renee Adams Show. I am here with Brittany Ehrick. And me and Brittany have been trying to coordinate the show for some time now, and I'm finally glad. I'm so happy that we're able to do this, the first show of the year for 2019 with Brittany, to be able to share her story. She is a life coach and author of the book Everything is a Choice, and I love the name of that. Just the title and all the work that she's put into that is just really amazing. So I put everything down below so you guys can definitely check it out as we go through the interview. But first, we just want to be able to share this on a Facebook page that we have before we really get started. So, Brittany, if you want to go ahead and do that as well.
Yes, I would love to do that. Okay.
So it should be posted, should be up now, so we can go ahead and share it to that extra page. And I just want everyone to know, if you have, any questions for Brittany, please feel free to throw those our way so we can answer your questions that you may have, because that's what we're here for, right, Brittany?
We are totally here to answer your questions and share all the wisdom we've been blessed with. And we're just so excited to finally be together. And this is actually the first time I've been interviewed about being an author. So I feel so honored that we've waited and been patient as friends and as a team to really share this with everybody that needs it or wants to be a part of the movement. And I am going to text my assistant because it's not sharing. So she'll help.
Okay. So when I first met Brittany, we actually met through so like just out of the blue, just how you meet people, and you just end up talking, having this great conversation. And I ended up telling her that I was a TV host and had my own talk show, and basically interview people with inspiring stories. And she brought up Brittany's name and told me that I should contact her, that we should reach out to each other. And this was last summer, so it's been quite some time. Brittany was in the process of writing her book, and she said, "I don't want to do it just yet because I'm still writing my book." And I had no idea what this girl was, what this book was about, and what she was all about in this book. And over that course, she finally had her book launch, and to my amazement, going to her book launch, and it was 150 people. Is that right?
Yeah, it was pretty packed. I think it was about 121 or 125 was my max capacity. Okay. I started off with a large list and then realized I really wanted it to be intimate and I wanted to be a sacred night, and it totally was. And I'm so blessed that it was a night of pure unconditional love, and it was so beautiful to step in my power to be able to share that. Thank you for being there with me and
absolutely
my back and supporting me. I love how supportive you are.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was just to hear her story and how poised and how vulnerable and open. I'm like, I wish I could tap into that, and just opening up about her story. And that's what we're going to go into here with this interview. And if you all want to share this live broadcast, please do so. I think that it's very inspirational, and Brittany is here to just support her heart out, and it's not an easy thing. So please ask questions and share this broadcast. So I will go ahead and take this over to you, Brittany, because I want to know more about your book and what Everything is a Choice is about, and how you came up with the name.
So Everything is a Choice Through a Coach's Eyes is like my full name of my book. So first of all, when I was picking the title of the book, I kept saying it's too simple, and I realized it was in front of me the whole time. And so I had to step into the power of saying everything is a choice through a coach's eyes. Is teaching everybody that you can choose every minute of every day how you want to live and what you want to do with what's happened to you or what you've been given. And it is a choice. And I wanted to share with everybody that you have the freedom of choice, and that's your power and strength. And that's why I named the book that, so that people know that your choice is yours. So
Right.
do everything you can to make a choice. And then here's a great way to make choices through my certifications and my expertise. So through the coach's eyes is through my filter of being a coach and a hypnotherapist and all of that beautiful knowledge I have. Thanks for asking.
I think that when it comes to your title, everything is a choice. The name to me sounds like it really came from your upbringing, and
Yeah.
and knowing that even though you can go through the craziest of times, that it's your choice to, well, in a way, Now, if you really can understand what someone could really be going through, to really say that, that's really it's really not that easy to say. But I think you do have a choice in it on how you respond and how you kind of behave, or your attitude towards life in a way. Now, when we talk about everything is a choice, and how this came to you, right? While you were, in that place of, with your upbringing with your mom, and could you give us a little insight about, just your mom, and like how that all was when you were a little girl?
Yeah, I give a lot of insight in the book about why I chose the name Everything is a Choice. And thank you for reminding me that it has so much corners and dimensions to the name itself. Is that I know that when you're a victim at the effect of things in your life and situations that happen to you, in the moment your choice is taken from you, and that can put you in a victim mentality. Right. But it is your choice what you do with it. And so growing up with a mom that made choices to be connected to drugs and being homeless, and involving me in all of her unhealthy behaviors, allowed me to look at her every day and say, I'm going to make a different choice than you. And that is my passion, and my purpose is to do the opposite, and to live full out. Because every time I watched my mom breathe and live, it was in pain and suffering, and she was trapped in her mind and in self-doubt, and she was so insecure, Renee, that it stole her ability to be a mom and ability to love herself. Instead, she went into the universe asking for love, and couldn't love herself. And so she taught me a lot to make choices for myself. And I'm very grateful for her knowledge and for her being my mother.
That's so good that you said that. That's really good. And I know that's why I was telling Brittany, I'm like, I don't want to get emotional with this, this whole thing. And I was telling Brittany that, I want her to feel comfortable in sharing her story. And, I know that most of this is in the book, and, but every one of you are not seeing that right now. But, for me, I just want to be, just careful about, being able to share this, but we want to share it in a way that it will teach people and, hopefully help people. But, I feel like when you were in the middle of all of this, you said in your book that you felt like you really didn't belong, and it was really hard because you were in the middle of all of this, and not really having any kind of guidance or direction on how to get out of it. But what I would like to know, because I feel like what you have become today is like this amazing woman. And I want to know, in the way that you were able to stay optimistic, how were you able to internalize this in the most healthiest ways?
So growing up feeling like the outcast, and, not knowing that I was beautiful, and knowing that all the things that I got made fun of for, all that jazz, was a part of what made me so beautiful. it was hard because I had to step into this power and this destiny. And from a very young age, I felt it, that I had a choice to be healthy, and I had a choice to do it and live full out. And I got stuck like everybody else along the way, but I found God when I was very young. And even though my mom told me the devil was the only thing that was real growing up, I found God at a young age from people that took me in and had my back and gave me shoes or clothing. They told me God was real. And so I knew that someone was watching over me when I was getting abused and hiding in corners. I knew it. And so that helped give me strength. But I have to share that there were so many people around me growing up that gave me love and showed me that I could do it. There was people beating me down, but there was also people bringing me up. And that support also gave me faith and trust that I could make it out and that I could.
And you did it. You did it.
Sorry.
And I just wonder, like, what would your mom feel? Because you expressed in the book that you don't know where she is.
No, I know she's in Phoenix and she's homeless, and she's called my grandma and my mother, and I know she's hurting. But that's all I really know, which is hard to be present and okay with that.
Right, that's right. That's right. Because you do have to, at the same time, you feel that, that's your mom, but at the same time, it is kind of that thing that you have to let go of people that is not, serving your highest good and the best version of who you truly can be. And I just, I would like to know what would she think about your book and your story that you're telling in the world. That's an amazing accomplishment, especially knowing that when you were younger, you couldn't really focus on school, and that was kind of a challenge for you to stick to it. It was a challenge, with school, and for you to be able to write a book, that was really important. And if it was it challenging to write the book?
So first, I'll start with the first question that you asked. I love that you stack questions like me. That makes me feel first of all, growing up with my mom, right away when I was hurting, I was coached from my coach, Carrie Myers, to make a choice to respect my mom's lifestyle and her choices, and to know that she's made choices and she's chosen to be in the situation where she's homeless, and her choices have gotten there. So I respect them. First of all, those are her choices, but I cannot be a part of those choices because they're not safe and they are toxic, like you said. Yeah. So I've thought about this quite often, allowing my mind to play a little bit, like, what would my mom think about me? And I would know right away, she is full love and light. So when she was not hurting from the addiction and her insecurity, she had full love to give me. Mm-hmm. So I know right away she would be proud, because her sister, my aunt, is incredibly proud of me. And so I know that my mom would be proud, and that she would be in awe, like my aunt and my family, that someone with a first or second grade reading capacity, spelling capacity, all the learning disabilities. My aunt was told when I was a little girl that she wasn't even sure if I could read or see numbers or words. And so for me to be here as an author writing a self-help book that is helping people, and it's thick and it's wonderful and it's passionate full, we're all at like, we did the impossible, and it's just so incredible. So I believe that my mom would be incredibly proud that I stopped the unhealthy cycle and the patterns with me. I stopped the unhealthiness that was generation after generation, and I believe that any woman would be proud of that.
Oh, absolutely. And she probably wish that she can walk in your shoes.
And I hope that someday she gets to walk in my shoes in heaven and feel all that she gave me, allowed me to give. And I'm proud of her for teaching me some of the strength that maybe she didn't see in herself.
Wow, that's really powerful what you just said. And you can't really blame your mom for how she was able to raise you. You mean you because they don't know themselves how they probably aren't really aware of their issues and why they behave and act the way that they do, because they never really internalized it or reflected that much to really heal some of the things, or get the awareness that they're
And
hurting other people in the process.
And I think she felt that because we had moments of healing and grieving and screaming and like going through my medical decision and choices, I know that we need someone else to give us an outside perspective so we can see our whole pain, our whole being. We need people to bring that best side of ourselves out. That's why my company is called Bringing Out the Best in Us. So I know my mom knew that it was causing pain, but we know we're in pain and there's something uncomfortable and wrong, but we don't know how to change it. And so that's why I stepped into this coaching and hypnotherapy seed, is because I wanted to give people the possibility to change their situations. So I give people the tools and resources, and now it's up to them to free themselves. And that is probably the most powerful thing I get to see on a daily basis, is people saving themselves and giving themselves freedom. And it's all because I started with me. And I was vulnerable enough to scream in class and be angry at my mom and fall apart so that I could be whole.
And I love the work that you're doing. And I think that we do need people like you, because these things are going on all the time, more than we would like for it to be happening. And I think it's very important for little girls and boys to understand that there is ways that you can beat the mental and physical hurt. I mean, if sometimes you can look at things and be optimistic, but I believe that you understand now that having sort of a life coach or a mentor would be so helpful in trying to heal the early scars of someone, at a younger age, so that they won't do these crazy things that some of these people are doing today.
Like clients that have come to me that were raped as a young boy, and they're ruining their marriages, their lives, their everything. They're self-sabotaging. I see 8-year-olds, I see 3-year-olds, I see 68-year-olds, I see 90-year-olds, because we all deserve freedom. And so what I tell people is that everybody deserves a life coach, and everybody could use one, because it's nice to have someone giving you that outside perspective. But when I talk with the YMCA or with teenagers and kids, I encourage their parents and their family to get them self-help and get them knowledge to help them through the mental, physical, or spiritual pain they're in. Because if you can get freedom young, you're not going to self-sabotage, make unhealthy patterns, and have to deal with this pain and suffering as an adult. My teenage parents realize that their kids aren't going to have self-doubt. They're not going to take the unhealthy patterns to their marriages and their relationships. And that gives their parents peace of mind to know that I'm giving you the tools and the resources to work with Brittany to have that freedom of self-doubt. Even if you're in the healthiest family possible, self-doubt will be created the minute you question who you are and your purpose. And so I like to help anybody strengthen themselves and find that inner confidence, so they're walking in their full power instead of walking on the eggshells of self-doubt. It's so draining. And so I just would encourage everybody, get a life coach, get a therapist, get a pastor, get help if you have anything keeping you from being present and happy and peaceful. Life is meant to be chaotic. It's meant to be painful. Use all that, love all that, lean into it. And if you're not doing that, get someone to help you do that, because this is what life's about. It's not about the pain and freaking out about it. It's about living in the pain and feeling it. Just like every morning with my health condition or my mental health, it's about living in it and using it to strengthen who I am and what I'm meant to be.
And those are the obstacles pretty much. I love that, Brittany. Thank you so much for that.
I'm so passionate.
Yes, you are, and we love you for that. But you know, when you talk about those things, it's basically obstacles that you have to you hurdle over. You have to learn through them. That makes you stronger. Because if you're always dwelling in the past, you're never ever going to be able to live in that happy moment. And sometimes people ask themselves, when am I going to be happy? When am I going to be able to have the life that I've always dreamed of? And it's all about changing your outlook on life. And sometimes the life coach and the additional assistance that you can get will help with that. And you will start to see it. You'll start to feel it. You'll start to experience life in a totally different way. And that's when you start to feel alive.
It's
And you start
also
to
about being present in the moment. So a lot of people live in the past or the future, and it's about being in the present, letting go of the past, letting go of the future, and having a plan and some ideas, but being okay with it changing and adapting. A lot of people are in a career and think their whole life, I've got to, I'm just going to retire. I'm just going to retire. And then those 30 years is gone, and all they've thought about is retiring instead of living in the moment and loving what they're going to do. And that's so painful and causes friction in the one life you get to live full out. So I love how you're all about shed the past, shed the dream future, and live in the present and create the future in the moment.
So how was it for you to write this book, and to, like, as you were writing your book, what did that feel like? Because I felt like right out the gate, I was like it felt like I was reading this fiction book, like you just turning page to page, but it was real life. And I'm like, oh my God, turn a page. Oh my God. Like it was just, I was just like, I wish I could tap into that vulnerability and to be able to be, have that integrity, have that honesty, and have the truth be told in that way that you told your story in your book. I'm telling you, Brittany, even seeing you tell your story in person, and then the expression that you put on the front cover of your innermost feelings, and all the words that you posted, such as like bold and insecure, God, doing God's work, beautiful. And some of those words were, it made me wonder, are you still dealing with those things?
So to start at the beginning, the process of physically writing the book was very difficult and very powerful for me, because I literally cannot write or spell. And so I'm using Siri to learn how to spell a small word or a big word. And so the process is I took recordings when I first became a life coach, where I was random and all over the place, paid someone to give me those random recordings back. And then I sift through every recording with someone reading the recording to me, telling them how to change it. And I wrote the whole book that way. Or hiring teenagers to keep up with me so I could type every weekend for years so that I could create the book. So that was the beginning. And I went through over 10 to 15 people, because it is difficult to keep up with someone as passionate and as purposeful, and also has so many ideas and so much to say at once. And so it was really beautiful. And then the words on the body, I had a vision and a dream, and the minute I felt it, I knew that was how I was meant to. I actually had a Christian cover already done, and my book was another name, and I decided that it needed more, and it was about something different. It was about being vulnerable and sharing my pain, my hurt, who I was, and what it took to overcome all that and step into who I really am. So the front is what I struggle with, my pain, my suffering, and the back is who I've stepped into and who I've become. And of course, there's still some things that come up, because we are human. Yeah, I can feel anything, and I still see my life coach to help me grow and become a better person, because I want to continuously be free from everything that could hold me back. And so the words on the front of my body, I I am almost 100% healed from. There will be nightmares or dreams and things that come up from my past. And so, I have cleared all that out, but your mind is going to function and dream about what it's going to be triggered about the day of.
Okay.
And so for me, I put the words on my body. It was painting for hours and hours. And anytime I'm in the cover of my book, it will be the same. So it's not that someone's putting tattoos on me. It's that I sit for hours and hours and get painted. So also a very physically painful transformation for me, but I love the process. And so I'll be doing that for a gym and in March, and I'm really excited. So the words, the pain and the suffering was, I hope that people would wear their pain and be willing to be vulnerable enough to give it to a healer, to let them heal it so that they didn't have to wear it every day. People try to pretend that they get to set their baggage and pain down every day and it's not hooked up with you, but it's there. And I made the cover so people realize it's with you. So why not heal it? Why not take care of it? You're willing to go to the gym every day and you're willing to eat healthy, but you're not willing to work on your mental health or your spiritual health. It all needs to be together to have balance. And so wear your pain, work through it so that you don't forget about it, so that you can be free from it. And the back is to remind yourself how powerful you are and to always stand in who you are and what you're meant to be.
Oh, that is beautiful. Because just hearing that, it lets you know that nothing changes the beauty that your light, it doesn't change your light. And when you said that, it don't matter what you've been through, Brittany, when I talk to you, it's the light and the beauty that shows up more than anything. So for that process that you went through, I want other people to be able to do these similar things. And you said that your book have the solution. Your book has a solution to help them through their pain and suffering or whatever they may be going through. And I feel also that this broadcast, just visually seeing it and, just being able to get a snippet of what to expect in your book is going to be profound and powerful. And I have never, ever met anyone quite like you. And I think that is a blessing in itself, just to have you here to express all that you have been expressing, and for all of us to learn how to tap into that ourselves, because we all have stories, we all have certain insecurities or things that's blocking us from achieving what we're meant to achieve in this world, instead of being the victim and blaming everything and everybody. So yes. That comes from my heart to really truly tell you that you are a beautiful person, and it's just it really touches me, and I love you for that. I absolutely love you for that, and love what you're doing. But aside from that, as far as your life coaching, when did you actually start that?
So it's almost been about, I think I started school about 3 years ago. I was talking to Coach Larnett Winston, and I was like, when did we start? When did we end? And so I believe I started about 3 to 3.5 years ago. And this is when the whole journey started. And I made my first goal in school. And my first goal was to write my book and finish it. And so knowing that, when I made the goal, I knew my disabilities. I knew what I was taking on. I just didn't know how long and how much physical money it would take to create my masterpiece. And the book does have all the tools and answers, because I don't coach anything in the book that I haven't gone through myself. So every chapter, every page has a testimonial from me, a testimonial from my clients of how they healed through the pain and suffering. And there's stories about how women got through victimhood and how they overcame it, and how they found their power. And there's a lot of knowledge. And one of the things I realized after writing the book is it really is for everybody. Everybody has a pain and hurt in their life because that's what gives us, like I said, gives us the opportunity to be our true selves, just tapping into that and not calling it a struggle, not calling when something bad happens, something bad, instead saying, this is my life and this is my job to get to live in this and learn from it and love it. That doesn't mean it's not going to hurt and tear you in some way. But that's what the book is all about, is stepping into that and getting rid of the unhealthy patterns that drain you. And it really has a lot of great natural tools that are keep it simple, stupid. Let's not go over people's head. Let's not make it complicated. Let's not add too much where you're like, how do I help myself? And that was my biggest goal, was for people to feel like, I get it. It's easy, it's simple. I just have to start doing it and do it consistently.
Yeah, consistency is important. You definitely want to be consistent, especially if you really want that happy and peaceful, contented life. You know, and I think sometimes, you know, we create it for ourselves because we sabotage ourselves. We're hard on ourselves, and we're kind of the prisoner in our own mind.
Definitely.
You know. So
and we're the only one that can capture us in there, right?
Yeah, and it's a sad thing to know that you're in your own way. You're in your own way of success. You're in your own way of being fearless. You're in your own way of helping others see their truth. You know, and it's not easy. It's not easy because it's kind of a process of it's kind of lonely because you're like internalizing everything. You're trying to figure out how you can go about it, and for your, you know, for knowing knowing you, you're trying to figure out how to get through it and what's the best way to go and what's going to motivate you to be able to do those kind of practices every single day, because it's a daily thing. It's not just once in a while. It's consistent.
And some pain is some things you're meant to walk through, just you and your higher coach, or just you. But a lot of the times when you're hurting, the best thing you can think of is, I am not alone. There is someone else hurting like me. Because the minute you say, I am the only one that has ever gone through this, you isolate yourself and you put yourself in this cocoon of pain instead of thinking there's got to be someone else. I'm not alone. Because that gives you a sense of faith and like, there's more people, other people can handle this, and it gives you a sense of pride and tribe, a sense of tribe, that there's more people out there. And so there are unique places in the world where people aren't going to go through the exact same pain and hurt, but remembering we're all in pain, we're all in hurt, will help you free yourself in a small way, and it helps you get a little glimpse of the light again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we want to see the light more often than, you know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So when you're hurting, you're in the dark and you're just looking for that light. And the minute you find that light, allow it to come in, and that takes immense vulnerability. It's not easy we want to be comfortable because our pain is comfortable. It's safe. We know it. So the minute you step out of that, it's the unknown, and that's so scary. So it's stepping into that light in the unknown and being, I would rather be in the unknown trying to find peace and accomplishing it than sit in the safety and be in this repetitive insanity pattern.
Ooh, girl, you just said that. That right there in itself is, that's everything. What you just said, the repetitiveness and sitting in it and dwelling on it. The depression sinks in, and then drugs come with that, and then mental anguish, all of those kind of things come into play. And then you feel like you're the victim. So then you're bitter with the whole world, and the whole world have to experience your anger and frustration for no reason. And that's something that you should try to work on through a coach or through, I feel like even reading books, help. And if you find those, like self-help books, just all kinds of books are out there that open your mind up, and it can help you relate to something that you say, oh, I can actually do this right now.
And that's why I wrote the book, because looking for someone and asking for help is so difficult. So start with my book. Start with you in my book. I wrote the book so I could be your own personal coach, guiding you and healing you. And so that you could do a little self-help work on your own and really figure out some things yourself, because when you self-discover, it gives you the most power. And that's why coaches let you discover, let you choose, and help you discover who you are, so that you get all that power and confidence. And so the book is really helpful. And I would suggest starting with a self-help book, or if you're ready and you're sick of and tired of your pain and hurt, start reading Everything is a Choice Through a Coach's Eyes, and any other self-help book. Plus, be vulnerable if you're ready to hire a coach. It takes commitment for your mental self, for your lifestyle, and it also takes a financial investment in yourself. To heal, you have to be willing to invest so much into you. And if you want freedom, there's no more excuses. There's no more safety. It's all about stepping full out and giving your all and saying, I'm investing in me and this is my time. And that's what I really encourage people to do, is if you're not quite ready to invest, start with a book, because that's your first investment in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too.
I agree. So, as a life coach, and you've been doing it for some time. A lot of people, they trust you. I would assume they trust you. But what exactly do you do as a life coach? Like, what do you specialize in any particular thing with that, or like how does that work for what you specialize in?
So that's such a beautiful question. So as an author and as an inspirational life coach and a hypnotherapist, I specialize in self-doubt and in helping people find their inner confidence and bring that out of them. But really, as a broad spectrum, as a life coach, I attract my clients from all ages, all dynamics, all different kinds of pains and hurts. And so I would say I help a lot of people that are struggling with people pleasing, self-doubt, victimhood, childhood abandonment, pain and suffering. I really get those people that they've tried everything else and I'm their last resort, and they're ready and they're sick and tired of their pain and hurt. And I get asked this a lot, and I attract the people that need me the most. So if it's someone going through a divorce, if it's someone that is a widow, if it's a young boy and his parents are separating, I am there to help anybody heal, because I have 5 certifications. And so I'm very dynamic as a life coach. I'm a certified business coach. I'm a certified Stephen minister, which means I'm ordained in a Lutheran church, and go on and go on. And so with all those skill sets, it allows me to help people with anxiety as a hypnotherapy, inner child pain. There's just so much that hurts us. So I release what I can, and I partner with therapists, psychologists, and pastors to help them release what I can't. But generally, the people that are seeking me release all their pain and hurt with me. And I'm very blessed that I attract so much demographic, and I love it because I get to work with something new every day. And most of the time I've already done it before, which is also a very, very wonderful gift to know that I have all the skills, I have all the tools, or my intuition's there to guide you and help you heal. So sorry I didn't answer that one specifically, because I help the people that I'm called to help, and they come to me from referrals or from word of mouth. And I've only turned away like 5 people in my whole career.
Oh, wow.
Or the only reason they haven't started with me is because they're not ready for the financial investment.
Oh, okay, right. And some people, people have to be willing to go through the process. And if they're not willing, you do have to turn down those people, because there's people out there that are willing and want the help and need the help. And so, was that basically the reason why you probably had to turn some of them down?
So a couple of them were current alcoholics or addicts, and I don't work with people that are currently suffering in their addict. I help them when they're before or after treatment. So if they have another coach that specializes in alcoholism or drugism, they work side by side with me with a therapist. But I generally wait to work with them until right after they come out of rehab or something like that. But besides that, what was your question again? Sorry.
Oh. No, you basically answered.
Okay,
Yeah, you basically answered it. So, yeah, because I know that there's reasons why. Because even for me, like, as a host, I have to turn down certain services or people that want to promote certain services. So I just wanted to know, like,
oh, okay. Or they just want to sit in their pain and they just want to sit in it and they just want to talk about it. A life coach is there to hear and listen and hold a beautiful space for you, but we're here to help you grow and move. And so
right,
if people want to just sit in it and they don't want to grow and they don't want to change, they're not a great fit for me because this is a growth oriented program that I have.
right.
And
That's
all coaches.
and it's not the best for them either if they're if they're still not, if they hadn't gone through treatment, which is the most important part of that, because you can always revert back to the same thing. So no, you're doing the right thing. If they're investing in themselves, you have to take treat the problem and then try to get the services to help you maintain it. So I think that that's basically what that is. So no, you're doing the right thing. And I'm glad that you were able to express that here too, just to let people know that they would have to go through something that may feel more difficult to go through than going to a life coach. It may be easier to go to you than it is to go through the actual treatment.
Yeah, and so I hold the space for them. I hold their hand. I meet them at where they want to grow and move. And so if they take little steps, that's amazing and that's beautiful, or large steps. But if they want to stay where they are, they need to look for another type of healer, because that's not the type of healer I'm attracting. And if they're not ready to be vulnerable to hire a coach or have the finances, that's why I wrote the book. Because there was a lot of people that came to me that needed me, and I had so many pro bono clients, and I was helping so many people that I needed another way to help them without saying you have to be in my program and I only have 2 pro bono spots and you have to wait 5 years. I wrote the book so I could say, here I am in a book form, and you have me. I am with you. You are not alone. And then when you can afford me and when you make it a priority, come back home. I'm here for you. But at least I have this resource now where I never have to turn anybody away. I get to give them help without needing to support my business and my family and my career as well. So it feels very exciting to be able to now have this resource to give away.
Absolutely. And I know you mentioned the word loneliness, a few times, and you dealt with that a lot growing up, really not knowing, what direction to go into or how to get out of what you were going through. And you felt that you didn't really belong. You felt like you were just out of place and didn't feel wanted or anything like that. So like, what advice would you give to a child that was in your same position of how they could move through that and try to get the help that they need? Are there any resources or any kind of advice that you would share?
So, if you were ever offered therapy, counseling, coaching, free workshops in foster care, go for it. Seek that help. Don't be afraid to sit down with someone, and don't be afraid to look for multiple people. I started my journey when I was very young, when I started therapy and healing, art therapy, regular therapy, all of that. So don't be afraid to hire someone. And if your parents can't afford it and they can't find it, there are a ton of free resources. You just have to be willing to look hard enough. There is so much help out there. There's so many free webinars and all of that. It's just, you have to be willing to ask for help, look for help, and being willing to know that I am someone that has gone through something, but I am not that pain. I am different than my pain. And to separate yourself when you're a young boy and your dad's abandoned you and you're dealing with all this loneliness and you have no guidance. Be your own guidance. Trust yourself and lean in to the good in your life instead of sabotaging and making more problems for yourself. When we're hurting as youngins or as adults, we tend to sabotage and create jail, violence, divorces, disruptions. We have these nice, wonderful, cozy lives. And when our pain gets in the way, we like disrupt them and sabotage them. And it's all about, in the pain and hurt, choosing the healthy things, even though it's harder.
It is
But
hard.
when you do choose it, and you choose it and you choose it, it becomes easier.
Oh, wow.
You have to choose over and over again. And that's how I became who I am, is I chose over and over and over and over. But the minute I chose my self-doubt during my surgeries or during this process, that's when I lost who I was.
That's when you lost who you were.
When I stopped choosing the healthy and I leaned into the pain and let it take over me. But I also found a stronger part of myself as well.
Right, what you were finding yourself, which that's pretty much what we're talking about with that. That's really important to hear and know. Gosh, that's really good. I love that you were able to give that kind of insight and share that. Because it's said, and you said it in a different way that a lot of people can understand. So I love that, Brittany. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, so it's just really. Just reading your book, I just feel like so many people will get so much out of that, and it can help someone that's close to them to be able to help heal them. And the most important thing is when you're at that young age and you don't really know what to do because you have no knowledge about or the guidance. So it could be really difficult to be able to maneuver and, because you felt that you had to help your mom. And you're like, wait, you're supposed to be my mom and help me assist me, in life and help me, get through school and help me be the best person that I can possibly be and give me advice. And, through your eyes and experience of what you've been through, not me as a child, to help you at 6 years old.
Yeah, I was very lonely, having no parents or no consistent parenting or no one to guide me. But the power it gave me was I became my own parent. I heard all this noise from parents and CASAs, and I would let some come in and then I would have to block others. And eventually I had to learn that I do know what's best, and I want other people to come in and teach me and give me their opinions and their knowledge, but I have to decide what's best, and everybody does. Absolutely. And I learned that at a young age, but it did take the coaching and the certifications and this process of me growing to be able to step in that fully and know that this is the only way to be healthy and happy is by trusting myself and knowing. It's just really hard when you don't have any, your parents are stealing or your parents are in their marriage and they're lost or in their relationships or in their pain. You're lost and lonely. And so what I would give a young child for advice is remember that you are light and love and that you are good. And no matter what you do, you can be good and you can choose to be good. So do everything you can to choose to be good, even though it's gonna hurt, even though being good and choosing the good path is hard. It's the only way to turn out healthy as an adult. And it's just so difficult because there's no one whispering in your ear telling you that. It's only trusting that you've got to choose. You got to choose the right things for yourself. And we know the right things, but we listen to both shoulders and we listen to the gremlin and the inner victim and the inner critic. You can't do this. It's easier to do what everybody else is doing to make money. No. It's easier to do the right thing over and over again once you make the pattern.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you so much for that. I love that. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. And you're absolutely right. I just think you're amazing.
You can thank God for giving me the gift and the power and just knowing that I was born a little sweetheart. And all I hear from my childhood, because it's coming up a lot with lots of people coming out, is that I was always sweet. I was always kind. I always had a big heart and always gave all my love away, no matter if they deserved it or not.
Right.
And I would encourage people to do that, because that also created the beautiful, loving love that's in the book and in the universe that I give. Is I have loved even when I wasn't supposed to, because that gave me power to be able to love unconditionally. And
Right.
so I really encourage people to love those people and forgive the people that have hurt you and how it's hurt you. So forgive yourself and forgive the people and let it go. Stop carrying that weight behind you. Just drop it, let it go, and move forward without it. That's the best advice I could give anybody if they want advice. And trust yourself, love yourself, and know that being your true self is going to give you more purpose, more happiness, less chaos than anything else. And if you're not your true self, you are pretending to be someone else. And the only way to attract your dream peeps, your dream husbands, your dream anything is by being yourself and trusting that people are going to love you or they're not, and be okay with that and stop people pleasing. And that's my advice that I give everybody that steps in my office every day is love yourself, and be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to share your story, because it will set you free and someone else.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Did you have your book right in front of you?
Oh my gosh, that's so silly.
No, that's fine. It's not nearby.
There's
if you get up out of the camera, you can get it real quick. Okay.
Everybody can see my heated blanket.
Yes,
okay, so this is Everything is a Choice Through a Coach's Eyes. You can see how I use my body to help women and men step into loving their body and owning their pain and suffering and healing themselves by stepping in their power. And I'm going to have a workshop in June where multiple women and men will be in their front cover and their back cover to heal their pain and suffering. So I have 3 people already registered. So if anybody wants to join the movement of Everything is a Choice Through a Coach's Eyes, all you have to do is want to live full out and take action by buying the book. And I sign every book saying, live your life to the fullest. And I say that because when you're in darkness, depression, sadness, you don't feel like there's anything to live for. And that's why I wrote this book, to give people something to live for themselves. So live full out and join the movement with Renee and me and Larnette and anybody around us, because that's what's going to make a difference for you and everybody else.
Wonderful. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Brittany, for that. And I did post here where you can find Everything is a Choice, Brittany's book on Amazon and Kindle. And I think you really will enjoy it. I know I did. And like I said, it was a page turner, and you will really feel like you're walking with Brittany through her journey, because she gives the whole picture of her experience and what she's been through, and I feel like the tools and the resources that she has in her book too will help. So please share this broadcast and also check out her book. I think that it will really change someone's life. I really do.
And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking a referral from my client for me to be on your show, and taking me in and supporting me, loving me, and joining me in the sisterhood of sharing this book. That means a lot to me. And to have me on your show it's just such an honor to get to share my book the first time with you. And I have so much love for you to give. And I want to encourage people to join your show, get interviewed, and know that you're going to bring out the best in them, because you're being vulnerable and your heart is present. And we're all just so thankful for you. We couldn't get the exposure we need without people like you and your show. And I've watched other people that you help. You really help us describe who we are, and your questions are just so gorgeous and thoughtful and vulnerable. So thank you for being your true self and sharing yourself with me, and allowing me to be a part of your TV show is such an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I told you we're not getting emotional here, but thank you. That means so much to me, because this is my passion, and it's been a journey for me, just doing what I do, and I love it. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share your story. And I feel like I'm the vessel to be able to grab, a sense of who you are, and expose that to the world. So Thank you, sweetheart. And I want you to continue to do everything that your heart possibly, is set out to do, and you're going to be awesome.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much. And I can't wait to see how this makes a difference in the world and the universe. And I will continue to share your TV show and your leadership and your inspiration with as many people as I can. And I ask that you keep sharing too, and that the two of us keep making a difference together. And I'm just so grateful for our friendship. And thank you for your time and just for everything you do for all of us. People like you make such a big difference for all of us, and we're alone without you. So thank you for bringing us together and bringing wholeness inside of us.
Yay! Thank you. Yeah. So, just speaking of that, anyone that wants to be on the show, please reach out to me. I am really open to hearing your stories, or if you have a product or service that you would like to sell, you can get in contact with me on inbox, and please visit Brittany's Facebook page and like. And if you need her services, you can reach out to her. Do you have a website?
Yes, I have a website. It's Bring Out You. So bring out and then the letter U .com, or you can look at my name, Brittany Ehrick.com, and you can also find it, or you can find me on Facebook under Brittany Ehrick or Bringing Out the Best in You. And I love sharing my progress, my shows, and any tools and resources I can. So you're also welcome to follow me if it feels right for you. And I thank everybody for giving me their time and energy. I know none of us have a lot of time nowadays, and time is precious. So thank you for sharing your time with us. Without the audience and people watching, we couldn't be here. So thank you for watching and sharing your time.
Yes, thank you so much for watching. And again, get in contact with Brittany if you have any questions or you want her services. And if you want to be on the Renee Adams Show, get in contact with me through Facebook and inbox me, and I'll reach out to you. Thank you so much, and have an enjoyable Saturday. Have the best Saturday. Yay!
Wonderful, relaxing, blessed Saturday. And we hope we inspired you to be present with your family and friends in your life today.
Bye.
Bye.